craving your body all through the night. It feels like I'm on the withdrawals. I wanna hold you. I want you inside of these arms. I'm trying to taste you, I can't deny. I can't get it out of my mind. Please let me hold you. 'Cause I need your loving tonight.
On the gridiron or courtside, you know what time it is. It's
Sports plus life. Sports plus life.
ringside or front court or field pass, we ballin' no. Knuckle up or buckle up, I tell it like it is when I'm on my show. Home run, slam dunk, knockout, or gossip go.
Sports plus life.
Yeah.
Sports plus life.
Ah.
Yo. What's up? What's really good? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. Ya heard? Oh, and y'all already know what's going down today, bruh. So guess what? Turn it off, turn it all the way off now. Oh, y'all heard me singing at the beginning of this again, 2 straight weeks. Hear that? And mind you, I want to say this. I want to be perfectly clear. Okay, I'm doing this right before I do the podcast, so it's not like I'm pre-recording this or anything else like that, just to make myself sound good, because, black and mild contamination makes my voice raspy real quick. I don't know if y'all have noticed that throughout the show, that at the beginning, this part, my voice sounds pretty good, pretty clear. But by the end of the show, I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty raspy. But it is what it is. But no, I just recorded that, the first verse of the Usher song "Bedtime," and I don't know why I've done this for the last 2 weeks. It's just something different. I'm just throwing new wrinkles out there, just like Brandon's funny true stories. The new segment, just throwing some new stuff out there, because I think my loyal listener base has gone from like 3 people to like 6. So I figure I'll change it up just a little bit. But anyway, please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and this here again is Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast that discusses all of the necessary topics in sports and all of the necessary topics in life. And of course, if you've been keeping up the last couple of Mondays, particularly since football season has started, these podcasts have been longer and longer, because I've had my bro on, Tony. He does the football analogy with me after I, give my initial take in regards to what I thought about the previous day in the world of the NFL. And then I will actually, I go on to talk about other sports as well. Quick briefing on Major League Baseball. The wild card playoffs start tomorrow with the New York Yankees at the Boston Red Sox for a 1-game winner take all. Man, I mean, when you talk about rivalries, that is, let's see, what's the example can I give? That is the Highland Springs versus Verona of baseball, professional baseball. But anyway, it is a beautiful, beautiful day. It was really a beautiful weekend in the Richmond, VA. That fall weather is it's just something else. That fall weather is good. Even while I was at work, the temperature was around the mid 70s, just how I like it. You can feel the sun, but you also can feel that crisp fall breeze at any given moment. Do you feel what I'm saying? But again, it is Monday, October the 4th, 2021. Quick shout out. My sister Kia, her birthday was just on Saturday. Look. First of all, happy birthday. Happy birthday. She wanted me to come, and I guess she scheduled a gathering of people to get up with as far as a birthday dinner was concerned. But she let me know that 2 days before the occasion, and I'm like, it was, with my schedule the way it is at work, and with me training people constantly, I've been training people on a daily basis now. 2 days notice, nah, that ain't gonna work for me. But that's all right. I'm gonna make that up. I'm gonna make that up, sis. We gonna kick it. Happy birthday, love you regardless, homie. But anyway, oh man, this weekend. It's cool. The last 2 weekends I've been busy. The last 2 Sundays, anyway, I've been busy. My pop, Wayne Ampey, his B-Day was 2 weeks ago, and he had hit me up, more, further in advance as far as helping him out with his party at his home. And then last week took the kids to the fair. So yesterday was the first day that I actually got to chill since week 1 of the NFL season, where I just chilled in the house and watched football all day. And me being me, even when I'm in the house all day, I can never stay still. Cooking breakfast, doing laundry, all of that stuff while the game is going on, and then cooking on the grill. And boy, man, I'm telling you, man, my grill skills have gotten tight. Like, I'm good. I am good. I promise you. My grill skills have gotten, boy. Well, I ain't going to say make you want to slap your mama, because I don't condone slapping mamas, but make you want to slap somebody else. I'll put it that way. But anyway, before I get that sports thing started, I got to give out all my shout outs to all my Springer fam, man. And happy birthday to anybody else that I missed, whether Springer fam or just the fam, my peoples in general. Like, I don't be getting on Facebook like that. I really just get on Facebook to post the podcast, and every now and then I might comment or like some comments. But I mean, honestly, I don't be on there like that. But again, happy birthday, mad love to my Springer fam. Well, first of all, outside of my Springer fam, my boy Eddie, his birthday was last week. Happy birthday to you, bro. Love you. And my Springer fam, my boy Chris Pitt, my homie Big Dog. Happy birthday was just a couple of days ago to you. Love you too, bro. And of course, the names don't change. The love don't change. Just another week for us to get a chance to, really, really cherish and be thankful for everything that we have, everything that God has blessed us with. Again, the love bombs keep coming. That's one thing I do like, and one thing I do comment on is those love bombs, because they're awesome. They're so totally necessary. Adrian always holds it down. She already know that she the GOAT. Crystal, she always holds it down, constantly sending positive vibes in your boy's directions. She already know that she the GOAT. Melinda, Candace, Sean, my brother, he ain't even got to go there. Carisha, everybody, Aaron, there's a couple Aarons, Canada, Bryant, all of y'all. What's up, Keita, Chantel, Regina, Doug, all my peoples, man, all my peoples that I'm going to continue to show love to. That day is coming. It's only a month away, where we going to get up and we going to, just hang out, show love, show respect. And like I said, you ain't even got to be 01 to come out and just to get up and show your true black and gold. You don't have to be just class of 01. You could be class of 2000, 99, 98, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, whatever. It don't even matter. So just, again, continue shout out, continue mass love to everybody, positivity. My boy Gerard, Misty, Arthur, Tim, Jamar, BG, Troy, and of course my cousin David. We all one, we all family, we all linked together, we all have a bond that'll never be broken, no matter what, no matter how many people try to do it. It ain't happening, because once again, hashtag Springer Love is real. Do you know why it's real? It's because we say it's real, damn it. Okay? And who doesn't want to just share the love and spread the love? Because it's fall. We coming up on that holiday season. We less than a month away from Halloween. Thanksgiving is next month. We got Chroma coming in 2 months, dog. Yo, man, like I said, everybody need to stop focusing and honing in on what happened in 2020 when 2022 was staring us smack dab in the face. 2022 was saying, hi, y'all about to meet up with me real soon. Man, look, 2020 was 2020. It is what it is. All we have to do is just keep focusing on how we can get better on issues that arose and issues that was learned in 2020, including this damn pandemic, bruh. Like, I am so ready to be rid of this shit when it comes to this whole COVID-19 nonsense. I don't even want to get into all of that today. No, I ain't even gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But before I start talking sports, the one thing that I did do this weekend and that I've done earlier this morning, like usually when I drop my kids off to school, I come back and I go to sleep. But when I come across a show or if I get a show suggested to me and I watch an episode and I like it, and when I binge watch, I binge watch. And this time I've started binge watching this show called All American. It's on the CW and also on Netflix as well. One of the guys that I train who lives out in Fredericksburg, shout out to you, OJ, he was telling me about this show because, everybody knows how I love sports. Everybody knows how I love football and whatnot. So he told me about the show called All American, and it's dope. He said it was legit. He said it was a football show, but a story about football, but it's legit. And I've been watching that pretty much ever since yesterday morning. I stopped, of course, when the NFL came on, but then what I've done, honestly, since the middle of the New England Tampa Bay game, while I would go back and check on the New England Tampa Bay game, I was into this show, and that's what I've been watching all day today until I started recording. I ain't watched nothing else, like real talk. The show got my attention. It's a good show. Y'all should check it out if you haven't already. It's called All American. It's on the CW, but also you can find it on Netflix if you never heard of it and you want to binge watch it. Look at that. I'm giving out free publicity. Ain't this a bitch? But anyway, it is time to talk about sports, folks. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, week 4 of the NFL is in the books with everything except for tonight's Monday night matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers, but everything else has been settled and the dust is almost clear. And I'm going to say this was not one of my best weeks when it comes to predicting games. I like to think of myself as being good at this shit because I actually do study, I do my research, when I think about making my picks, but it's just one phrase that looms large and can ruin anything that you say when it comes to making a prediction on a simple football game. Any given Sunday. I am so serious about that, but let me first start off with the Thursday night matchup between Jacksonville and Cincinnati. These Thursday night games have been on point. They have been very good. They have been lit. Down to the last play type of lit. But the Cincinnati Bengals, right now, one of the surprises of the regular season, defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-21 after being down 14-0 at halftime. Joe Burrow had to engineer a comeback, throwing for 348 yards. And Tyler Boyd got a number of those yards, getting 118 of them. And the Bengals, don't look now, they're 3-1. They're right now being ahead of schedule. Nobody was expecting anything from Cincinnati, but through the first quarter of the season, hey, the Bengals are 3-1. How about that? Now on to Sunday's games. Washington and Atlanta. I called the Falcons to win the game. I believe Tony did too. And whenever I pick the Falcons to win the game, they conveniently lose the damn game, as they lost to the football team 34-30. What was actually a very, very, very entertaining game. One of the most slept on player in the NF of the L is Washington wide receiver Terry McLaurin. Because he's not real dramatic, and he doesn't come with the dances, and he's not loud or anything like that. Dude just goes in every week and puts in work. And he's just a third-year player from Ohio State. He had 123 yards yesterday and 2 touchdowns as Washington got the victory to even their record up to 2-2 over the Falcons, who, once again, when you set expectations for them, the Falcons let you down. Bruh, they ain't been right since 28-3. And football fans know what the hell I'm talking about. But anyway, next score, Houston at Buffalo. Rainy Buffalo. Houston with no true starting quarterback, starting Davis Mills at rookie. Buffalo, ever since, again, their head-scratching loss to Pittsburgh, has looked like possibly the best team in the NFL. Well, guess what happened yesterday? Buffalo continued that streak, looking like they may be the best team in the NFL, and put up a 40-burger on Houston in the rain. And not only that, they allowed Houston the donut. 40-0, Buffalo beats Houston. They continue to roll. And that notion that the AFC East wasn't going to be a cakewalk for Buffalo, while it's just 4 weeks, looking pretty cakey to me. Right now, they're 3-1. Everybody else 1-3. And I do mean everybody else. A little bit of foreshadowing there. The Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. Matter of fact, I blame Tony for this. I let Tony talk me into thinking that the Detroit Lions would win a game at Chicago. Damn it, I was wrong. Damn it, he was wrong. Damn it, we were wrong. The Lions lose to the Bears 24-14 in a game that was just like, okay, I can't even sit here and say with a legit straight face that the Chicago Bears won that game as much as the Detroit Lions lost it. And when I say that, and I'm not throwing any shade at Justin Fields, who got his second start. He did pretty good, but considering his last week's performance against the Cleveland Browns, he couldn't do anything but do better. But be that as it may, he did all right. The Bears did win, but again, the Detroit Lions, they cannot put 60 minutes together, because in the first half, every single drive, Detroit was in the Chicago red zone, and every single time, they did not come away with points. I'm going to tell you something that really, really, really got on my damn nerves yesterday, is all of these coaches just consistently going for it on fourth down, leaving points on the field. Now, look, I'm not trying to be the old soul who won't evolve. No, I understand that this is that the NFL is changing, evolving offenses. They're going more analytically and all of that other crap. But let me tell you something. Leaving points on the field. Look, think about this. Detroit came back and made it very interesting in the second half, which I actually knew they would. You take all of those chances that you had in the red zone where you didn't come away with any points, and if you turned them into field goals, when you started scoring touchdowns in the second half, you probably would have won the game, dumbass. But anyway, Chicago wins, and for all of the talk, all of the trash that we talk about, the Chicago Bears and Matt Nagy, and the Bears look pathetic, blase, they're 2-2. Remember, we did the same thing last year, and they made the playoffs. So with all that being said, Chicago was still a 500 team. Next game, the undefeated Carolina Panthers at the Dallas Cowboys. Well, the Carolina Panthers are undefeated no more. And the Dallas Cowboys won the game 36-28. Sam Darnold actually had a pretty good game. 301 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Dak Prescott, his numbers weren't that impressive as far as the numbers in the 150s, but Zeke showed out. Finally, Ezekiel Elliott fans can say, there he is. I recognize that dude, 143 yards rushing. Now look, I'm not going to be like these Cowboy fans who I know a lot of them are probably saying, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. Slow your roll because you're not. But one thing what I have tried to pride myself on for this football season is being more fair-minded instead of, having so much personal bias. Because I'll tell you right now, I hate the Cowboys. Fuck them. But one of the reasons why they get on my nerves is because they get so much attention, so much undeserved attention. They haven't won a Super Bowl since 1995. What grade were you in the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl? Or were you born? But be that as it may, they're 3-1. They appear to be head and shoulders the best team in their division. I don't know if that's saying much, but their offense has been clicking. Dak Prescott has looked very well since coming back from that career-threatening injury. They look so much better on defense. They look a lot faster on defense. Micah Parsons is a beast. Diggs is a beast. So I'm not going to sit here and just trash a team, when they're not doing well, and then not mention anything when they are doing well. So the Dallas Cowboys have played some damn good football. They played some really good football. They're a couple of missed field goals away from actually being 4-0. Or you could swing it both ways. They should have beat Tampa, but they should have lost to the Chargers. Instead, they reverse. But be that as it may, they're 4-0. They're looking pretty good. Damn it, that was hard! God damn it, that was so hard for me to do! Oh my God! Oh! For me to talk that good about the Cowboys for that amount of time. Damn it, my head hurts right now. Ooh, fuck them. Oh, get back to losing, you sorry sacks of shit. Oh my goodness. Whew. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get it together now. All right. Yeah. Cowboys 3-1, you motherfuckers. Anyway, next game, please. The Indianapolis Colts get their first win of the season at the Miami Dolphins, 27-17. Carson Wentz got his first win as a starter for the Indianapolis Colts. Good for them. I don't remember who the hell I called. Oh yeah, I called Indy. I did call Indy because I didn't think Tua was going to win. The Cleveland Browns improved to 3-1 with a 14-7 win over the Minnesota Vikings. Now Minnesota has been kind of weird. They've been weird this season because while they are 1-3, their record could easily be reversed. Now, yesterday was their first game where, you're not saying, well, they could have been. They lost. I mean, and it was a defensive struggle. They scored a touchdown on their first or second drive again and didn't get another thing. So gotta credit Cleveland's defense. Mind you, Kevin Stefanski, the coach of the Cleveland Browns, was an assistant for the Minnesota Vikings for 14 years. So I'm sure that win was more special than, just your average regular game. Surprise game, the New York Football Giants. They won. They beat the New Orleans Saints at New Orleans. And they were at the Superdome in New Orleans for the first time in 21 months with a sellout crowd. And the Saints did that. Yo, the Saints are one of the most head-scratching teams so far in the NFL. Because, week one, they blow out the Packers. You're like, damn, we may got the Saints may be legit. Then they look just like total crap against Carolina. And you're like, are the Saints that bad or is Carolina's defense that good? Then they come back and they beat New England in New England. So you're like, oh, okay, all right. Well, yeah, the Saints, I still think they should be a team to be reckoned with. Then they play the winless Giants at home and lose in overtime. Saquon Barkley, 2 touchdowns. Now let me say something about the Giants. They're 1-3, but I'm starting to see something with them. Not because I call them to win the division, because I still think their offensive line is no good. But I'm starting to see something with them because in their 4 games, outside of week 1, when my Broncos busted their ass, their last 3 games, they could have easily won them. And this game, they actually closed the deal. So if this is a team that starts to learn how to close the deal, because they're playing very hard on a weekly basis. And I'm starting to see something with the Giants. But just 1 win. We'll see what happens from there. I think they have Dallas next week. And then let's keep the New York train going. The New York Jets finally won a game. They beat the Tennessee Titans in overtime. And if you're Tennessee, really? I know you didn't have A.J. Brown, you didn't have Julio Jones, but really? They lost to the Jets 27-24. Zach Wilson gets his first win as a starter. Robert Saleh gets his first win as an NFL head coach. Good for those guys. The Kansas City Chiefs yesterday looked like the Kansas City Chiefs again, throwing up 42 points on the Philadelphia Eagles while Jalen Hurts threw for almost 400 yards. My man's got to get more accurate because I paid really good attention to that game, and there are definitely some wide open throws that he left on the field. But Patrick Mahomes did what Patrick Mahomes do. Tyreek Hill, 3 touchdowns, did what Tyreek Hill did. And in a must-win game, Andy going back to Philadelphia where he coached for all of those years, I don't want to say this was predictable, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. In the late games, battle of the undefeateds in the NFC West, or should I say the NFC Best, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Tony called this. I said the Rams. He said the Cardinals. And when I say the Cardinals, they sent a statement yesterday. They biatch slapped the Los Angeles Rams, who on the very same field last week took apart the defending Super Bowl champion New England Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady. But Kyler Murray and that offense was not having it. 37-20. And right now, the Arizona Cardinals, their offense looks hard to deal with because of Kyler Murray. I see the Cardinals and the Rams offense looking very similar, except one glaring difference: Kyler Murray. This dude, the road runner is just, he's so hard to defend. He's a nightmare to defend. So the Cardinals, go to 4-0. The Rams drop to 3-1. Another NFC West battle. The Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. The Seahawks, who have not been able to hold a second half lead over the last couple of weeks, reverse that. They beat the San Francisco 49ers 28-21. Jimmy Garoppolo conveniently got hurt, so you had to deal with Trey Lance for the majority of the second half. So this is why I picked the Niners to finish last in this division, because for one, I don't think Trey Lance is ready. I think people are making a lot of mistakes with these rookie quarterbacks, just throwing them into the fire, thinking that you're going to get results that honestly these guys are not ready for. But be that as it may, the Seattle Seahawks definitely got a must-win game. In Denver, my Denver Broncos, who were 3-0 at the time, they're undefeated no more. We lost to the Baltimore Ravens. One guy that scared me in that game was Lamar Jackson, and he did Lamar Jackson things. We lost 23-7, but honestly, I'm going to tell you when I knew that the game was over. When the second half started, it was 17-7. The second half started, and Drew Lock came at quarterback because Teddy Bridgewater was being evaluated for a concussion. As soon as Drew Lock stepped out on the field, I said, oh, this game is over. I stopped paying attention to it. And I stopped in it because it's not like our defense played horrible in the second half. We only gave up 2 field goals. Drew Lock ain't shit. And when it comes to being a starting quarterback, it's just not. But I'm okay. I'm all right because we'll bounce back next week. Next game, Pittsburgh at Green Bay. Man, Steelers offense. It's gonna be a long season. It's already getting long. We're just a quarter of the way in. Pittsburgh's offense looks stale and stagnant. Green Bay is starting to get back in a groove after that Week 1 disaster against New Orleans. They've won 3 in a row. They beat the Steelers yesterday 27-17. Aaron Rodgers had 248 yards passing. And the Packers, they are 3-1 in first place in their division. And then the night game that everybody wanted to talk about, everybody was looking forward to, the Bucs versus the Patriots. Brady coming back to Foxborough. Everybody wanted to see a Tom Brady blowout. They wanted to see Tom Brady go up and hang up 50 on Belichick. But one thing, are you guys surprised at how that game went? Tampa won 19-17 as New England missed a 56-yard field goal in the rain at the end of the game to try to win it. But did you think for 1 second that Bill Belichick was not going to have his team prepared for that game? That game went exactly how I thought it would go. I thought it would be a close game. Matter of fact, the football weather gods gave New England every advantage that they needed to win. Brady wins, so now he's defeated every team in the NFL, so they're 3-1. They're tied for first place with the Carolina Panthers. And those were the games from Sunday. What I took away from this football week was, one, in the NFC, ain't nobody messing with the NFC West. I don't care. Like Tampa is not messing with the Rams or the Cardinals. I even throw the Seahawks in there. But more so the Rams or the Cardinals. Nobody's messing with the NFC West. Not Tampa, not Green Bay, not Dallas. Those teams are too damn good. And as far as the AFC goes, what I took away from the AFC, it's hard for me to say that Buffalo is the class of the AFC right now because they beat a rookie quarterback in truly inclement weather. and he did put up 40 on them. But I don't think the Chiefs will be in last place long. And the AFC is kind of a head scratcher. It's definitely kind of a head scratcher. Holy crap. Wow, this just in. Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp are down. Those apps are down. Yo, I know there's somebody who right now who is like between the ages of 14 to 30 who are losing their damn mind right now. Facebook and IG is down right now, people. I mean, that's crazy. There's somebody probably thinking right now, oh my God, we've taken a step back 20 years. I mean, you know what? So what? We might, hey, if they stay down long enough, we might actually get to a good functioning way of society.
Excellent.
Oh damn, but I do post this podcast on Facebook. That's all right. People, I got a nice number of subscribers, so they're knowing I get it. I mean, and look, if you do feel like it's 20 years ago, it actually was a lot of shit to do 20 years ago, and you didn't need social media to do it. You didn't even need social media to find out about it. You didn't even need a text message to find out about it. That's the beauty of it. You know what we actually did? You know what the human race actually did before social media? We called people. No need to scream, no need to get afraid, but we actually picked up a phone and called people. Bring, 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 bring. Hello, may I speak to so-and-so and so-and-so? And we actually arrange plans via actual human voice. You remember? Hey, you guys who are my age, y'all remember what that felt like? Come on now, I know you do. But like I said, I guarantee you, if somebody right now is like, oh my God, I can't even sit down and post on Facebook that I'm about to take a dump. And I can't even post that I'm about to take a dump with a poop emoji or a nasty face emoji. What am I gonna do? My life is over. But I'm sure by the time you guys get this uploads, everything will be back up and running again. So, it is what it is. So shut up, Chucky. Shut it up. Yeah, I know. I get it. I understand. And of course, it's Monday, so you know what time it is. I've already mentioned Tony earlier in the show, and now he's on with us. Like I said, Monday, most wonderful time of the year. Time for that football analogy. What it do, brother?
Yo, what's going on?
He is feeling himself today, you guys. I just want to let you know he is really feeling himself today. But hey, I mean, 3-1, looking good. I gave some compliments. It took every ounce in my soul to do it, but I did it.
Well, it's about time you give just due, but future is bright.
Did you hear that evil laugh that he just did? that evil ass laugh that he just did. But it is what it is. So it is what it is. And now Tony texted me yesterday and said, am I still doubting, or something to that effect. And I know he was still talking about his Cowboys, who are now 3-1. And I just sent him back a simple text message. I said, of course, because I don't believe in any team in the NFC East. A 3-1 record, doesn't impress me. They're headed in the right direction. I'd be a fool. No, I was just going to say they're headed in the right direction. I'd be a fool not to recognize that. But, one quarter of the season is over. I'm not going to get too high up on any team. I'm not going to get too low on any team unless you're pretty much winless. Like my Denver Broncos. We took an L yesterday, but like I said earlier on the show, as soon as Drew Lock stepped on the football field, I said, oh, that's a wrap.
Bye, bitch.
I stopped paying attention to the game. But I'm not getting low on my Broncos. I'm not getting too high on the Cowboys. I said earlier I see something with the Giants. I'm starting to see something with the Giants. This really what's been missing with them the last 3 weeks is their ability to close a football game. But I'm not too high on them either because their offensive line sucks. But anyway, what was your main takeaway from week 4 of the NFL season?
Every dog has its day. Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah. That surprised me. That really shocked me.
I actually laughed. I laughed at that shit. I really did. That was hilarious.
The Bears game actually shocked me too. Justin Fields showing a pulse. Signs of life.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I said on the show earlier, I let Tony convince me that Detroit was going to win this game. And I paid attention to that game. I actually paid a very good attention to that game because I wanted to see what Justin Fields was working with. And I said this earlier, Tony. The Chicago Bears didn't much as win that game as the Detroit Lions lost it in the first half. And this was a theme of yesterday, and I guess this is the new theme of the season that was really getting on my nerves, is coaches continuously going for it on fourth down deep in the opposition's territory, leaving points on the field. Detroit,
going for it in that position, and then veteran coaches not going for it in a situation. Here's looking at you, Belichick, that you should have went for it instead of kicking a field goal in that kind of weather.
Well, in Belichick's case, yes, I definitely would have went for it because of that, what you just said, the weather condition. But in the case of the Detroit Lions, every time you had the ball, you were inside the Lions' 20. Most of the times inside the Lions' 10. And you came away with nothing. Nothing.
Three trips and nothing.
Right? Four trips. You know, 3 turnovers on down and 1 turnover, period. But I'm just like, if you kick field goals each of those times, and then you do what you do in the second half, you win the game probably. You're leaving points on the field. And so many coaches did that. I mean, I saw Stefanski do it with Cleveland. I understand Philadelphia doing that against Kansas City. That's a different monster. You know, you almost have to do that against them. But I was seeing Stefanski do it. I was seeing Washington do it. I was seeing Atlanta do it. We were wrong about Washington, too, with this game, but we'll get into that in a minute. So that's what I took. Like, it's not that Chicago won that game. Detroit lost it.
Right, yeah.
But for all of that talk that everybody has done about the Chicago Bears, oh, you're terrible, you suck, Nagy needs to get fired, they're 2-2. And they did the same thing to them last year, and they ended up making the playoffs. So what to think of the Chicago Bears?
I think they should be 1-3. And the Bears don't scare nobody. They're going to go ahead with the Justin Fields project, but he showed a pulse. But that was about it yesterday, a pulse.
The defense is still good, though.
You know, so it is what it is.
Okay. So let's see where we were right and where we were wrong at. I mean, I already admitted that yesterday was not my best day of picking games. We were both right about.
We were unanimous on the Steelers losing.
Yeah.
And they did what the Steelers will do.
Yeah. But we were unanimous also on Washington losing. They won. We were unanimous on the Jets losing. Like you said, every dog has his day. We were unanimous on the Giants losing. They won. We were unanimous on Chicago losing again. They won. Let's see. I think that we were unanimous on Denver winning, and they lost.
Were we unanimous?
We were.
Were they?
Yes, you called Denver to win.
Actually, I think we were up in the air on that, and I was kind of up in the air in Minnesota because I mentioned I didn't know whether Dalvin Cook was going to play.
Yeah, well, you picked the Broncos. Go back and listen to it. You picked the Broncos. We did both pick Cleveland. Well, you were waffling about Minnesota because you didn't know if Dalvin Cook. I definitively said Cleveland, but I mean you were on the fence because you wanted to see if Dalvin Cook played, and he did play, and they still lost.
Yeah.
So where we split at?
Well, the funny thing is I don't know if he did. But how many carries did he have? Was it single digits?
I don't have the stats in front of me, but let me see. But Cleveland played lights out outside of their first drive, outside of Minnesota's first drive of the game. After that, when Minnesota went up 7-0, Cleveland's defense was lights out. I mean, they didn't score again. Cleveland's offense wasn't anything special by no means. Matter of fact, Baker Mayfield missed the game-clinching throw. I don't know if you saw that or not. On third down, he had Odell open for a touchdown, and nobody was around him, and Baker flat out missed him. I mean, that's why Minnesota got the ball back with a chance to tie the game. Chubb had 100 yards. Kareem Hunt, did what he did. Cleveland did what they did offensively. But Dalvin Cook did play. He didn't have a lot of rushing yards, but Minnesota's a Jekyll and Hyde team. Like New Orleans is a Jekyll and Hyde team. You just don't know what you're gonna get from them. I
don't know that they're a Jekyll and Hyde team as much as Jameis is going to Jameis at some point. As I stated at the beginning of the season, Jameis can put up them 500 yards. He can. But he'll throw 3 touchdowns, but he'll throw 4 picks in that same game. It's the strangest thing.
But this thing about, yesterday's game wasn't even about Jameis not taking care of the football. It's just it wasn't Jameis who threw the interception. It was Taysom Hill.
This is true.
And so, it was just more or less of the fact that the Saints have lost a lot on offense. They lost a lot this past offseason, and I said this before the season started, even though I still am rooting for Jameis to do well. For whatever reason, you let Emmanuel Sanders get away. Michael Thomas is not ready. You cut Latavius Murray. You've lost a lot on offense. And, your receivers that you have right now, are pretty much a group of no-names. You let Jared Cook go to the Chargers. You lost a lot. They have a great defense. They have a great defense. But, they're kind of stale on offense. They really are. As far as, from memories past, maybe when Michael Thomas gets back, that changes because you have a definitive weapon to go with Kamara, because Kamara's all you got on offense.
Yeah, that was evident yesterday by the box score.
Yeah,
he had a lot of yards yesterday.
Yeah, Kamara's all you got. And with the Giants, I think what we're finding out about the Giants is Daniel Jones ain't the problem, particularly when he takes care of the football. Saquon Barkley is not the problem. The problem is their offensive line. I think that's what we're finding out about the Giants, because the Giants have everything else you need. The problem
is their defense, because they got gashed on the ground.
They got gashed on the ground, but you got to think about how many drives for the Giants in early because you simply don't have protection. Now for the last couple of weeks, I'll give Jason Garrett credit for being less stale, less predictable. But the Giants, honestly, look, it already appears that I was wrong about them winning the NFC East. But when I say I'm starting to see things with them, what they need to do now is what they did yesterday. Figure out how to close football games, because you can make a legitimate case that the Giants should be 3-1. They should have beat Washington. They should have beat Atlanta. They did beat New Orleans, and I see improvement with them. But again, offensive line bad. But if the offensive line is bad, who's going to be on the chopping block for it? Is it going to be Joe Judge? I doubt it, because the Giants have that Detroit Lions syndrome. They play hard every game. They play hard. They fight you to the end. But can you fire Dave Gettleman because the line is bad? I would, because he said that 4 years ago that the line would be better, and they're not. They're worse. And Daniel Jones is proven this season, in a year where he absolutely had to prove it. Now, I know it's only 4 games, so a quarter of the season is gone, but so far, he ain't been the problem. He ain't been the issue. He hasn't. He hasn't been the issue. New Orleans, like I said, I understand what you're saying about Jameis. But damn. You know what I'm saying? You have you lost way too much on offense during the offseason. And right now, like I said, their defense is going to have to carry them. They're going to have to hit a hot streak soon, or they're going to end up being 9-8 or 8-9 team and probably miss the playoffs. Now, what do you think about Garoppolo conveniently getting hurt?
Everybody had the sense that the 49ers were kind of itching to pull that trigger. Anyway, I think this was the perfect time to do it. I think it's Trey Lance's job to lose now. I think that's what they really wanted to do. They wanted to make that shift, but not, insult Garoppolo. And so, perfect time. I think they may rotate him in and out.
I don't think that, quite frankly, I don't think that Trey Lance is ready. I think what teams are finding out, in particular this season, that this onus that these rookie quarterbacks are ready to come in and make immediate impact just isn't the case. I mean, rookies this season at quarterback have won 3 games total. You got one by Mac Jones and 2 yesterday by Zach Wilson and Justin Fields. And like I said, with Justin Fields, they lost that game. I'm sorry. Detroit lost that game more than Chicago won it. Now, I give Zach Wilson credit. That was a beautiful deep pass to Corey Davis, too. And I did like the part where he just literally told him go deep with his hands. And then he just flung it up there and he caught it. But this is the reason why, back 15 years ago when you drafted a rookie, you sat his ass down for a couple of years, not just 1 year.
Yeah, but no. I used to push that theory too, but the NFL it just depends. It depends on the franchise because yes, there have been clipboard holders that were maybe for 1 year, 2 years, in some cases 3 years. They were clipboard holders. They got garbage time play. But then prior to 15 years ago, you did have people drafting quarterbacks, and if they were a first-round pick, the likelihood they were going to see that field that first year was extremely high. And we can go all the way back, like that. Yeah, your boy Elway. They're going to see the fit. It's a 50-50 toss-up. You can do the on-the-job training and put them out there, and they're going to take the bumps and bruises, but a lot of them come out better for it. Some of them mentally can't deal with it, and they shrink. You have those clipboard holders that they come out better for it because they understand the scheme better, but then there's some that hold that clipboard for a couple years and aren't any better than they probably would have been if you threw them in there from the gate.
Well, I think if you look at a concept like, back in the 80s, you look at two guys like Elway and Marino who were head and shoulders, at the top of that draft class. But then, I think after the situation in, I want to say it started in 2008 when some teams started really going into system overload because you saw Joe Flacco as a rookie succeed. And you saw you saw Joe Flacco as a rookie succeed. You saw Matt Ryan, and the next year you saw Mark Sanchez in his first 2 years go to back-to-back AFC.
Breeze didn't sit either, did he?
No, who?
Breeze didn't sit.
No, Breeze.
Eli didn't sit.
Who?
Eli?
No, yes, he did. Remember, Eli sat behind Kurt Warner.
That's right.
Yeah, but no, Breeze did not sit, but you had nothing in San Diego at the time. You had nothing. Breeze didn't sit. Then okay, that was 2001. Then I say 2004. Yes, Eli did sit at the beginning behind Kurt Warner. Roethlisberger got in week 2 and won every single start. So you knew he was never given the job back. But that was the only case that season. Then you have to fast forward a couple of years later to 2008 with Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco. Then the next year, Mark Sanchez. Then it really went into system overload in 2012 when you had Andrew Luck, RG3, and Russell Wilson all take their teams to the playoffs. And it's like ever since then you had Dak in 2016, but ever since then it's been like, because even Patrick Mahomes sat for a whole year. And so but what I'm saying is the rookie class this year so far has disappointed. Honestly. And I don't necessarily put that onus on them. The only two rookies that I knew definitively that would start and that probably should start was Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. because those are two franchises that literally had nothing else. I never thought that Justin Fields should start. I never thought that Trey Lance should start. I didn't think the Patriots should have cut Cam for Mac Jones, personally. I mean, I honestly think if they had Cam Newton last night, they probably win that game. Because of that situation of 4th and 3, you may have known what's coming, but in the rain, it's a little harder to stop it.
Yeah, I can't say that Cam would have given them a better chance. That boy completed how many straight passes?
19, 19 straight, but how many of them were dinking?
You let him go for 20. You let him go for 20. Does Cam ever throw that many complete
But
passes?
how many of them were dink and dunk?
I understand that, but you only needed 3 yards. That's a dink.
You know what? Look, we're in agreement that Belichick should have went for it. I definitely thought, like, when I saw
Brady can run for a first down, which he did. Mac Jones could have ran. He could have dunked it, dinked it, or ran for that first down potentially.
well, I think the true issue was on the drive before, when they ran the trick play to get them down in the 1st and goal and couldn't put it in the end zone.
Right, yeah.
You know, because a field goal ain't beating Tom Brady, and then you put that in inclement weather. Now, one thing I said earlier in the show, I said if you actually thought that the Patriots were going to come out in a nationally televised game and Belichick was going to have his team unprepared, then you played yourself. Because, you know, all week everybody was saying, oh, Tom Brady going to blow him out. They going to blow him out. I never thought that. You know, this is Bill Belichick is still the best X's and O's coach in football. You know, he's gonna have his team in position to do the best that they could. Now, the way I saw it, the football gods put the weather in perfect position for New England to win. But at the last second, you know, Belichick froze up because he did not believe in his quarterback yet.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what do you think about the Cardinals versus the Rams?
I took the Cardinals.
You did take the Cardinals. You're right.
And I mean, because the Rams, I told you what I thought. I thought the Rams are substantively no different than they were with Goff. The only difference is Stafford might be a little bit more clutch, and that's what they got him for those potential situations. Other than that, they're the same Rams team. Exactly the same. And although Kyler hadn't had success against them, he had never had a team as loaded as he has now against them. So you had fairly loaded roster versus fairly loaded roster, and his athleticism proved to be the difference. You know, Aaron Donald, if you a sitting duck, then yeah, you're going to have a long day. But if you can move around, extend plays, well, you saw what happened.
And he's the difference. Because those teams are pretty much the damn same.
Yeah.
But he's the X factor. I mean, he really is the X factor. I mean, you know, my main takeaway from yesterday was that as far as the NFC goes, ain't nobody messing with none of them teams in the West. Not Tampa, not Green Bay.
I think you're fooling yourself. I think you're fooling yourself.
I think that's the Dallas fan of you coming out.
No, it's the advanced analytics stats. You play who's in front of you. We haven't played pushovers. We played the number 1, 2, 5 defense so far this season and shredded them. We are the number 4 offense in the entire NFL, the number 2 rushing offense, I think, that leading the league in turnovers and turnover differential. So we're getting the turnovers on the defense, which is what you want. And we went from 31st against the run to 6th against the run. Now, all I'll say is, at the end of the day, turnovers and time of possession is arguably the biggest things in the NFL, because you can be as high power, you can be Kansas City all day, but if you limit their possessions by running that ball, and you force turnovers, it really doesn't matter. We're doing the things that we need to do. I'm not saying we're the best team out there, but anybody, the eye test, if you're a football person, period, The only weakness on our team is Mike McCarthy. I texted to you, and I keep saying it. His decision making, because Carolina got blown out, but because of decision making, poor decision coaching. You keep your foot on the neck and run them out of the stadium. That may end up costing us. But as far as lining up with them on any given Sunday, I feel like we can beat any one of them teams. Any one of them teams. As long as we can run, then Dak doesn't have to do that 400-500, yard performance type deal, and that is the most dangerous Dak.
Well, styles make fights. I would give Dallas a better chance against the Rams or against a Cardinal team, or even a Seahawk team. If you're talking about offense, I would give them. If you're talking about offense with the Seahawks, I would give them a better chance against those teams than Tampa. But I still see the Rams and the Cardinals as superior teams to Dallas, Tampa, and Green Bay. I'm not saying that you couldn't beat them on any given Sunday, because that's one of the first things I said as soon as I started the sports segment on today's show. I said, just like the saying goes, any given Sunday, anything could happen. But if you ask me to break down a matchup, because of, especially with Arizona, because that damn Mighty Mouse, that damn Kyler Murray is the X factor. I mean,
it's the same as Patrick Mahomes, brother. You keep them on the side, you limit their possessions. It's the formula. If they can't stop our run, how many possessions does Kyler Murray really get? If we win the time of possession game, how many times does he really have the ball? And that's how you beat them and Kansas City. It's not rocket science. If you can run the ball against those teams,
well, of
you
course,
keep them on the sidelines, and you give him as many possessions as you give Dak, or less. Limit their touches. It's easy. The early season, the first couple games, that was not that team. The way we were playing, you were absolutely right. We lose against the team because you're trying to just get the shootouts. You know what I'm saying? Scoring every 2 minutes type situations. Nah, you're not going to keep up with them in a track meet. You slow that game down, and you efficiently, get the scores, but you limit their possessions. Make them drive the length of the field and slow it down. Tire their defense out.
Well, I mean, we shall see. I mean, and I don't disagree with anything that you said.
Nothing about them scared. Nothing about the Cardinals. What's better about the Cardinals, really? You mentioned Kyler Murray, but Kyler Murray is not even the quarterback that's necessarily playing the best. He's playing really well, but he's not necessarily playing head and shoulders above any other quarterback in the league. The other top 10 quarterbacks.
Well, y'all will see them this season, so you'll get a chance to see what's up.
Yeah.
Y'all will see them. So that I'll just leave it at that.
Arians is smarter than McCarthy, so there's the X factor. There's the real X factor.
Well, I think another X factor that's going to determine the Cardinals' fate is Cliff Kingsbury, because I know the Rams lost yesterday, but they ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They're not going anywhere. And the injury factor too, particularly with Tampa. Tampa is suffering the injury curse right now on defense. And I told you last week that Gronk wasn't healthy. I told you.
Yeah.
Four cracked ribs. Yeah.
I heard this today because they talked to this is my last Cowboys note. They talked to Jerry about the team and talked to him about the defensive side of the ball, and one media guy Marcus Mosher will not let it go, and he insists, he's an insider there, he insists that there's legs to this. They asked Jerry, and Jerry kind of deferred and mumbled something and went on to the next thing and didn't circle back around. There might be legs to us trying to go ahead and swing, because if Kelvin Joseph doesn't hit that field soon and Brown keeps dropping interceptions like he does, getting burnt here and there, Stephon Gilmore may be on the way to Dallas.
Yeah, I heard something about that too. Yeah, I heard something about that too. Well, look. If you get Stephon Gilmore with Diggs, yeah, y'all may have. I mean, that's tough. That's tough.
Only problem with Gilmore, and I'm okay. You get me, but is he a rental? How you gonna pay him? Because he wants to be paid. That's why Belichick would be willing to post. You know, they don't like to pay them players. Certain players, they don't like to pay. How you gonna pay him? Or are you gonna pay him? Or is he a rental? I mean, what?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I was actually impressed last night with Richard Sherman, you know, being fresh off the street and literally finding himself as being the top corner once Carlton Davis went down. You know he's not in game shape, but for him to keep up the way that he did, and they were going after him. They went after him religiously. So I actually give him props on that too. But because I had also heard things about Richard Sherman possibly coming to Dallas as well. But yeah, I mean, you get Stephon Gilmore with Diggs, you know, that's imposing. I can't deny that. I definitely can't deny that. But let's go ahead and pick some games. Oh wow, it just started thundering. Okay. Let's go ahead and pick some games for next week. It's some tough games to pick. Thursday night's game, I mean, they start off the bat this week with some dope games. The Rams at the Seahawks.
I think the Rams bounce back. I think the Rams bounce back. The problem with the Seahawks is not necessarily on the offensive side of the ball. It's on that defense side. And Kupp is gonna run free. Cooper Kupp is gonna have a day. So, you know, I'll take the Rams.
I'm gonna take the Rams too. Now remember, I called Seattle to win this division. But I'm with you. It's not necessarily with the offense. Although I will say this about Matthew Stafford. He better start cutting that ball loose a little earlier. Because just like last week, yesterday, he missed Deshaun Jackson a couple of times on some touchdowns. But he's waiting too long and he's underthrowing it. He better cut that out. Because, you know, if you let Deshaun get a free run off of the line of scrimmage, he's still taking the top off of any defense in the NFL. But I do agree with you. I think the Rams bounce back. And, you know, this is going to be a tricky year. This is a tricky year for Seattle. Who knows? Maybe they'll reverse it because generally the last couple of years they've started off so fast and finished slow. Maybe they'll reverse it. I don't know. But I think they lose Thursday. Sunday's game, Jets at Falcons. Every time anybody decides to go with the Falcons, they find a way to lose.
But I'm going to tell you what. About the Jets in that game, I mean, Zach Wilson, he you know, showed pose too, but the Jets defense stepped up.
Yes, they did.
Was really the game
yes, they did.
And I think they keep momentum, and I think the Jets get another win.
Think the Jets go in Atlanta and win?
I'm going against the Falcons on this one. Yeah.
Oh, damn. For competition's sake, I'm going to torture myself again and go with the Falcons. I know that means the Jets are going to win. The Falcons never win when I pick them to win. But I'm going to pick them to win again. So, Jet fans, you should be happy. Packers at Bengals. 3-1 versus 3-1. Cincinnati's a surprise. And it's at Cincinnati.
I'm going to take the Packers. Cincinnati, I don't think that being at Cincinnati makes that big a difference. Aaron Rodgers, I think the Packers take that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Cincinnati is going to be brought back down to reality. Your Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm sticking with the Lions.
Okay.
I'm sticking with the Lions.
You ain't learned your lesson yet. Okay.
They got to get it together one week. They got to get it together.
So you're going to take them every week and just say, hey, you know what? They'll win one of these games? Okay, I got you.
These are semi-moral victories, I guess, because in each one of them games, they had control. They had opportunities. They'll break through. They're not a bad team. They just, maybe it's bad coaching. Maybe you'd have to say bad coaching. You know what I'm saying? Because discipline, they lack a lot of it. They shoot themselves in the foot. Maybe this week the bullet misses.
Okay, well, for everything that you just said about the Lions, I will say about the Vikings. In every game that they've been in this year, they've been in control at some point. They're at home. I'll go with Minnesota. Denver at Pittsburgh.
This one I'm gonna take Big Ben at Pittsburgh. I'm gonna say Big Ben is gonna play for pride, but then not knowing your boy's status. If it's Drew Lock versus Ben.
Yeah, man. Oh my goodness, and that's why it's hard for me to make a pick, because if Bridgewater plays, I'm picking Denver, but if Drew Lock plays, we're not gonna win. And it's not that I have no fear of Roethlisberger. None whatsoever. Matter of fact, I think that Roethlisberger is going to take the same beating against Denver that he took against the Raiders. But if it's Drew Lock, we ain't winning. Like I said, if it's Bridgewater, we win. If it's Drew Lock, we lose. It's that simple. Yeah, again, Bridgewater, Denver, Drew Lock. If it's Drew Lock, Pittsburgh. That was some kind of underhanded shit that the Ravens did yesterday at the end of the game too. That's some kind of disrespectful shit. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm that type of guy that's like, do something about it. You know what I'm talking about? The little Russian attack where they rush with. Yeah. I'm just more or less like, do something about it. If you're Denver, do something about it.
The game is over. Go ahead and get that personal foul. They close to the sidelines. They ain't out of bounds just yet. Go ahead and knock the snot out of them.
Yeah.
But then again, you run that risk of getting suspended for the next game. So,
Well, like I said, do something about it. Take it out on Pittsburgh next week. But again, we need Bridgewater to start that game. But anyway, next game, Miami at Tampa.
Tampa.
Yeah, same here, Tampa. New Orleans at Washington. Tricky.
I'm gonna take the Saints. Because Heineke, his offense yesterday, he made a couple clutch plays, but the bulk of it was just throw it up and hope for the best, and it worked out for him. Because it was the Falcons. I don't see that happening with the Saints D.
I don't see that happening with the Saints D either, which is why I'm going to reluctantly go with the Saints. And I say reluctantly because, like I said, the Saints are Jekyll and Hyde. They really are. I know you're saying Jameis is going to Jameis. You know, you think Washington's defense is going to be due one day to show up. I mean, they haven't done it yet this season. And got to watch out for one of the quietest assassins out there in football. Terry McLaurin doesn't talk much, doesn't showboat, but this dude can play. He can ball. And but reluctantly, I'm going to pick the Saints. Philadelphia at Carolina.
McCaffrey's status still being up in the air. We're going to have to do this one like a Bridgewater. McCaffrey plays Carolina. McCaffrey does not play Philly.
Okay, I can understand that. You know what? I'm going to take that same stance with you. And you guys listening might think that that's weak, but I'm going to do the same thing because I agree. McCaffrey plays, I think Carolina will win. If McCaffrey doesn't, I think Philadelphia will win. Jalen Hurts has been putting up numbers, but bro has to get more accurate. I said this earlier. Bro has to get more accurate when it comes to simple throws. But, yeah.
This is not the week to get more accurate.
No, not against that defense.
My observation about Carolina, okay, we manhandled them in the trenches in terms of running, and they didn't sack that. They did not sack that, but they mix up their coverages and their schemes like you don't know who's coming.
You don't. You really don't. And that's the way New England was playing last night. They were doing the exact same thing. You saw nothing familiar 2 plays in a row. Nothing. Unless you were in a 2-minute drill. But
and that's Hurt's weakness. I've noticed that he's not good at reading coverages quick. He just doesn't. That's why he has to extend the play. He gets the jitters and got to run around until he actually sees a guy open. Not good at throwing a guy open or reading pre-snap. If it's simple coverage, yeah, you can read that. But if it's something, one of them complex like Carolina likes to play, I think he's going to struggle.
Yeah.
And running Miles Sanders, that doesn't seem to be a thing they like to do. So.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. Miles Sanders is a damn good running back, and this goes all the way back to Doug Peterson. For whatever reason, they don't use that dude. They really don't. And he's a game breaker. But it is what it is. Next game, Tennessee at Jacksonville.
There again, we're going to have a day. Jacksonville's D is up front. Is front seven is fairly decent, but if they're on the field, because Jacksonville's offense can't get first downs, it's going to wear down fairly quick. So it'll be over. It'll be over about before half.
I'm going with Tennessee too, but I think what Jacksonville is showing improvement every game, and that's what I was looking for from them this season. I wasn't looking for them to win a lot of games. Urban Meyer may not have been thinking the same thing because he's used to having nothing but success. But Jacksonville is there. The main thing you wanted to see from them was improvement. You knew they were going to get their asses kicked a couple of games, but they're almost ahead of schedule as far as competition in games. But yeah, I agree with you. Tennessee will wear them out. And I'm not going to say by halftime, but I'll say by mid-third quarter, they'll be pretty worn out with Derrick Henry. Plus, will the Titans embarrass themselves twice? 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, doubtful.
Yeah, right. Next game, New Orleans at Houston. Not New Orleans, New England at Houston.
Patriots.
Yeah, so am I. Until Tyrod Taylor comes back, Houston looks horrible. Chicago at Vegas.
Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders too. I am. Next game, interesting one. Cleveland at the Chargers.
I think, Herbert, man. I've rolled with the Chargers so far this season until somebody's defense proved me wrong. Chargers, man. Chargers. I think they'll get some pressure on him, but that dude has a quick release, and he's a big dude. He's not easy to bring down either. So, yeah, I'm Chargers.
I'm going with Cleveland because of that thing that you talked about earlier when you were talking about potential playoff matchups. Ball control. Everything you said about Herbert was right, but if you limit his possessions, which Cleveland is known for, you limit his possessions. Cleveland is built to win a game like that. So I'm gonna go with the Browns. Giants at Dallas. Yeah, I already know.
Yeah, come on. You already.
I already know.
What were we talking about earlier? Giants defense being weak. We're gonna run them into the ground. We're gonna run them into the ground.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna agree with you. I think Dallas is gonna win that game. San Francisco at Arizona.
Cardinals.
Yeah, I agree.
Cardinals, because they're gonna stick with Lance and no.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Even with Garoppolo, it still probably would have been a no, but definitely with Lance and no.
Well, if it was Garoppolo, I would say you might could catch Arizona having a letdown the same way you caught the Rams having a letdown yesterday. But yeah, I'm going with Arizona. Good Sunday night game. Buffalo at Kansas City.
I'm going to take the Bills Mafia, and I'll tell you, Bills Mafia for revenge factor, but also Bills Mafia defense. Not so much their offense. Their offense could kind of hang with KC's offense a little bit, but defensively, the Bills have stepped up, and defensively, the Kansas City Chiefs are absent.
I agree with you. I'm going with Buffalo because I think they honestly feel like, with outside of that head-scratching loss to Pittsburgh, that they are the best team, not just in the AFC, maybe in the NFL. And I think for them to truly feel like that, you have to slay that monster in Arrowhead. So I'm going with Buffalo as well. The Monday night game is between the Colts and at Baltimore.
Wow. I'm going to take the Ravens at home. I'm going to take the Ravens at home. If it were at Indianapolis, then I'd pick the Colts, but I'll take the Ravens at home.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens as well. I think they are. I think they're starting to roll. They're starting to roll. The AFC North right now is one of the most competitive divisions, and they have to stay ahead of the curve. The Colts, while they look good on paper, I don't know. I don't see it with them. So, yes, I'm definitely taking the Ravens. So, we got our picks in for football. One thing I want to ask you is, now I'm switching to basketball. What do you think about this Kyrie Irving situation? Now, I know you've heard about Andrew Wiggins and Kyrie saying blah, blah, blah vaccine. Now, it's been reported that Andrew Wiggins has now taken the vaccine. So, what do you think about Kyrie? And what would you do if you were the Brooklyn Nets?
I am going to stand with my man, the great KAJ, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and say, sit his butt every game and fine him every game. This is your profession. They're starting an institute in many places, at the federal level, definitely, but even at state level, that it's mandatory. You get paid millions and millions of dollars. Kyrie, if you don't want to get the vaccine, retire. I'm kind of tired of him anyway, just in general, because it's a privilege to play at a professional level. It's not just that you can dribble a ball and shoot really good. It's a privilege for you to be there, and you get paid millions of dollars to be there. You understand? So, if the team says, "Hey, we like you to get this vaccine, get vaccinated," then you shouldn't have an issue doing it. Issue doing it. If you got an issue doing it, then, like I said, I'm with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Sit his butt, fine his butt, cut his butt, whatever. But Kyrie is on some nonsensical. So Wiggins was even on some nonsensical. So anybody that's anti-vax at this point is on some nonsensical stuff. And that's just it. That's just it.
Well, I agree with you, and simply because I think that every professional athlete, no matter what sport you play in, I think should be vaccinated. Look, I'm for the whole pro-choice thing. But when it comes to athletes, your job description is going to require you to be around a lot of people. And, just put your safety belt on and take the vaccine. That, like I said, because of the profession that you have chosen. And yeah, I have to agree with you. And I'm just wondering, when is Kevin Durant going to get sick of it?
Well, to be honest, I don't really care what Kevin Durant thinks one way or the other. I mean, even if he took the stance of, Kyrie should be vaccinated, Kyrie is such a different dude. And by different, I mean like tinfoil hat, like one step from a straight jacket type different dude.
Wow.
So the question becomes, when is Nets management sick of it? I don't know if there were legs to the Kyrie for Ben Simmons, but they needed to be. If it were legitimately pitched out there to the Nets should say, damn Kevin Durant's feelings and take that deal. One head case for another head case, but maybe there's redeemable value in the Philly head case. There's no redeemable value in Kyrie Irving. There's none. You can't depend on him. Even forget COVID. You can't depend on him when there's no pandemic.
Yeah.
So he's killing you right now. He's killing you. It's just a distraction is killing you. So it is what it is. What's interesting is James Harden. What is his stance on it? Do you even really know?
No, I really don't. You really haven't heard anything from Harden.
Because he ain't saying that. And for real, because it's not his job to say anything. It's not. They shouldn't even be asking Kevin Durant, well, what do you think? And be like, Kevin, he doesn't run the franchise. So, like I said, I have no respect for Kyrie Irving, and for those people that still want to make that argument, how can you? You think they put microchips in our body? How can you? At this point, so many people have died, and even with the vaccine, people are testing positive, but they're not dying. This party, like you said, you get paid millions of dollars. If this is what they require, then this is what they require.
Well, yeah, that's why I think that every athlete should be vaccinated no matter what sport you play, because, this is what you chose to do, and I'm just more or less thinking for safety of others who may not be involved with what you do, but are involved in your life. As far as being an athlete is concerned. Now, Kareem said sit him. Shaq said him specifically to Kyrie, get his ass out of there. I mean, that's what Shaq said word for word. Said get his ass out of there.
Yeah. And it's funny, this guy kind of deferred. They didn't ask him specifically about Kyrie, but they asked, did you see the interview with John Stockton recently?
No, no, I didn't.
A dude that never talks. Like, he never does interviews. But he did an interview, and he was talking about COVID, and his stance was kind of the same as ours, that every player should be vaccinated. And he said, I believe in being there. You get paid to be there. You be there for your teammates, be there for your team, and produce. This coming from a guy that 17 straight years and didn't miss one game.
Not one.
So yeah, I mean,
right there with AC Green on the durable list.
But he they followed up. The reporter who was talking to him followed up. I said, so I guess you're not a fan of load management. So,
oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just more or less of the hell with load management. That's a whole different story. But funny you mentioned Ben Simmons, because I've been meaning to bring this up for the last couple of weeks. What is your stance on Ben Simmons?
Same as Kyrie, but if I'm Morey, in Philly, come on, Philly, different sport, but do what you did with T.O. When T.O. became such a disruption that you just couldn't deal with him, you said like that.
Right.
And just stay away. That's it. You do the same with Ben Simmons. Fine. You don't want to play, then be gone. Just sit chill. They already are holding on to his pay. You saw that, right?
Yep, I did see that.
And they said, hey, we'll give you the balance of your pay, but we gonna keep taking them fines out that pay until you show up. And if you don't, then he gets nothing. That is what I would do. I would legit make him sit that entire contract out.
Yep. Oh,
it's not hurting you. It's not hurting you.
Woo.
I mean, from not having him on the court standpoint, but then he was a liability to some level on the court because he wasn't getting better. But it's not hurting you. So until somebody came with a deal that I found acceptable. And I would tell him this too. I would tell him, when that you want to be traded, but we're not going to hand pick a team and only take a deal where you want to go. If somebody comes with a decent deal, then we're going to take that deal. You can decline it, but then you'll just sit at home.
Ooh, Man, see, we are so on the same page when it comes to that because
the game will go on.
Yeah.
Y'all are bigger than the game.
Right. And when it comes to Ben Simmons, the basketball player, I am a fan. But damn it, man. Ben Simmons he looks like a punk right now because you're the one who screwed up in the playoffs. You're the one who's had the same MO about him for the last 3 years, who hasn't done a damn thing about it in regards to your offensive game, in regards to your willingness to shoot a jump shot. Now, I'm not on the, I don't feel the way that everybody else feels, basically wanting to try to make him into a three-point shooter. You don't need all of that. But to have your game so flawed offensively to where you're passing up a dunk in Game 7 of the playoffs in your house because you're that afraid to go to the free throw line. And then on top of that, instead of taking accountability and looking at yourself in the mirror, you're now trying to point the finger at everybody else because you've been so coddled and spoiled and been surrounding yourself with yes people. I don't give a damn if it's your family or not. People are telling you what you want to hear because they don't want to mess up their seat on the gravy train, that it has totally enabled you as a basketball player to work on your craft, because if Ben Simmons had a mid-range game, he would be in the MVP discussion every year. But the fact that he is, for one, he has not done that, and then on top of that, chokes in the playoffs, and then on top of that, wants to blame everybody else for it? He wants to blame Doc Rivers or Joel Embiid? I don't blame them for what they said after the playoff loss. I don't. I mean, and this bit of damage control that they were trying to do for the last couple of weeks was nothing but damage control until Joel Embiid said, man, the hell with that. I'm sick of it. It's disrespectful. It was a mistake trading Jimmy Butler. Oh, Joel Embiid just let it out. He said it was a mistake trading Jimmy Butler. It's disrespectful that he's not here with the other guys. So, when I've told you this before, I couldn't be an owner today, bruh. I could not be an owner today because I would say Ben Simmons' contract ends in 2025. He can resume basketball in 2025 if he doesn't want to play with us.
I could. You saying you couldn't be an owner? Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could. I could too. It'd be just like quietly something that, and I'll give you a comparison of not an owner, but a GM who's been given full reign by an owner. Arturis, our boy in Chicago, AK.
Oh yeah.
That whole marketing situation, he took the stance. We'll try to trade you. If not, you'll be a bull, or you'll sit this year.
That simple.
That was literally his stance. We'll try to trade you. If we get a deal that we like, then we'll trade you. If not, there's the qualifying offer. If not, you can go back to Finland and chill or whatever for a year. But we're not just gonna give you away for nothing when we don't have to. Now people and this is a 7-foot white guy, so he can sit, man. This is like being on a plantation. That's not gonna play well with a 7-foot white guy. It wouldn't play well with Ben Simmons, considering the amount of money the Sixers have already sunk into that dude. So if I'm the Sixers, I literally tell them, you can be a Sixer, or you can be at home until we find a trade that's suitable. Otherwise, that's it. But you're gonna honor the contract,
right? And I wouldn't even rush to make a trade. I wouldn't. No, because
Players Association, there's nothing that they can do for you.
Nope. You signed your name on the dotted line.
So you can keep talking to the media. All you're doing is hurting your own value. Because no team, more of a headache you become, the more of a team is gonna say the headache don't match the skill. And that's it. You're a young man. You'll still be able to play basketball at 30 when your contract is up.
Right. Right. And plus, other teams are going to look at the fact of saying, "Oh, when things get tough, he gonna quit on you." Do we want that headache? No.
Best thing that can happen is the season go ahead and start, because Philly fans are very much they'll disown you real quick. Like they fall in love with you. You're their darling when you're there. But if you turn them against you, that's over.
Well, look, there's only one trade I would take for Ben Simmons. That would be Damian Lillard. I wouldn't take if I'm Philly, I'm not taking a Kyrie Irving trade for Ben Simmons because, you know, Kyrie is worse than Ben Simmons when it comes to dependability. I wouldn't take that trade. Damian Lillard. Now, Portland says you can have Damian Lillard. Straight up, okay, fine.
There's a couple deals out there. That one, yeah. I don't know. Minnesota's deal.
For who?
Well, Minnesota's offering a lot of picks. If you're thinking in terms of right now, no.
Exactly. No.
But
you just went through this whole 4, 5, 6 year, 7 year plan of the process. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not starting that over or relegating myself to being just a first round low playoff seed. No. You have to give me a player with equal or more value than Ben Simmons. And now, as far as value as a basketball player, yes, Kyrie Irving is better than both of them.
Would you? We already know you feel Dame, but would you do C.J. McCollum filler and picks?
Nope. I sure wouldn't. And it's nothing against C.J. McCollum, but he ain't Dame. He ain't Dame.
Well, I mean, that's true, but...
Nope.
Yeah, well, Ben Simmons is going to be a Sixer. He's just going to be at home this year.
Yeah, because Portland has already offered that deal to Philadelphia. They've already offered. And Philadelphia's already said no. So I'm not gonna say yes now just because Ben Simmons hasn't showed up. Guess what? His ass is just gonna get fined. He's gonna have to sit.
Wow. Yeah, well. See, that Ben Simmons is actually lucky that this is the NBA, not the NFL, because the NFL owner would come, or GM would come after the signing bonus.
I know. Oh, don't think for 1 second that hasn't been a topic of discussion.
Yeah. Interesting. I feel for him, but I can't reach him. But like I said, for the Sixers, I think the best thing for them is the season start, and they just play basketball. You know what I mean? Get used to playing with that dude not around.
Yep.
And enjoy some moderate early success with him not around to show you're expendable.
Right.
You're expendable. We're gonna keep moving without you, and that's it. And that would literally put the nail in the proverbial coffin. And the Sixers wouldn't be in any rush to take any deal.
Absolutely. Well, Saturday is not gonna talk about the sweet science for a quick second. Saturday is the long-awaited third fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Of course, you know the first fight was in 2018. It was
long-awaited though.
Well, yeah.
Are we on pins and needles?
Well, I mean, I am.
Tyson said Tyson's gonna retire Deontay Wilder. So
I've heard him say that. You know, the first fight was in 2018. You know, it was epic. The rest of that 12th round. The second fight was last year, February of 2020, and that was just a one-sided ass whipping. You know, the third fight was originally supposed to be in July, but Tyson Fury's camp had the COVID outbreak. So now the fight is Saturday, and you do know what happened last week, right? With Anthony Joshua?
Anthony Joshua, yeah, got smacked up,
Yeah. So Anthony Joshua loses. So the luster of a Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight has now lost a lot of it.
Well, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Joshua lost his position as far as challenger. I forget who they said moved ahead of him and is likely to fight the winner. But
there's a rematch clause in Joshua's contract for the fight with Usyk. So what's probably going to happen is Anthony Joshua is going to, fight that rematch. Should he win, then of course all the attention goes back to the Fury versus Wilder winner. Now, mind you, Fury and Joshua, they signed a 2-fight contract at the beginning of this year. Of course, I know that has stipulations. If you handle your business and I handle my business, then we can handle this business. But if, let's say, Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua regains the title, regains his portion of the title, I'm sure that fight would happen sometime in the middle of next year. It just sucks because boxing makes you wait so long. But what is your prediction for Wilder versus Fury 3?
I'm with Mike Tyson. I think he's going to retire.
You mean Tyson Fury?
Yeah. Because inevitably, Wilder's ego gets in where he thinks he can just straight out power punch that dude, and that strategy don't work with him against him. It just don't. So if he's bringing that same thing to the table, I think I don't see him coming out with a win. I just don't.
Yeah, logic to me says Tyson Fury because he's just such a superior boxer. Unless Deontay Wilder has done some things that would shock the world as far as boxing ability, he would just be dependent on trying to catch him again. I don't think he will wear a steel armor suit to the ring this time like he did last time. But Tyson Fury proved...
That dude's jab is not beautiful, but because his reach, he can get you halfway across the ring because his arms are so long. You can't get them clean shots. No. If that's your strategy, open the land a big punch and knock him out Wilder, then the result will be fine.
Yeah, and that damn near worked in the first fight, but it didn't work at all. Smart fighters adjust. It didn't work at all in the second fight, and we'll just have to see. I mean, mind you, neither fighter has fought since their last fight in February, so it's been over a year off. I think you could run the risk of possibly having ring rust for the first couple of rounds. But yeah, as much as it pains me because, I'm rooting for Deontay Wilder, but if you would ask me who would I take, who would I pick in this fight, I'd have to pick Tyson Fury, hands down. Superior boxer and the bigger man. Not the bigger punch, but superior boxer, the bigger man, but can take that bigger punch.
Right. Yeah.
And speaking of Tyson, Mike Tyson came out last week and said, when they asked him about the possibility, remember we talked about this 2 weeks ago, about the third fight between him and Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson said Evander fucked the money up by that fight that he had a couple of weeks ago and looking god-awful. Says, so now they have to do the fight with Lennox Lewis. When that date will happen, I don't know.
Well, I would say it's two other actually out there in the ether, and they've talked to the direct people, at least one half of the people in question. I'd like to see, rather than any of these retreads that Mike already fought, try to fight Mike without white man.
That will never happen.
I'd love to see that. I would love to see that.
I would too, but that will never happen. You know it and I know it. That will never ever happen.
The second one could potentially happen, but I don't think he's going to take it. So what do you think about Oscar De La Hoya and his $100 million offer?
To fight Mike Tyson?
No, to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, yeah, that can happen.
Yes, yeah, he threw it out there, $100 million.
Yeah, that can happen. The only thing is with that is it would have to be considered an exhibition because, mind you, Oscar De La Hoya was supposed to fight the guy that blew Holyfield out in the first round. And that was supposed to be a light heavyweight fight. Now, Oscar's 48 years old. Floyd's not coming all the way up to light heavyweight. And it ain't going to behoove De La Hoya. Now, maybe they could meet in the middle somewhere of maybe middleweight. But that ain't going to behoove De La Hoya, not at this age, to move that far down in weight. And now, if it's going to be built as an exhibition fight, sure. But as a real fight, the weight is going to be a problem. I mean...
Yeah.
unless they agreed on the super middleweight weight limit, where you have to come in at 166 pounds, and then De La Hoya can hydrate up to a light heavyweight, or even a cruiserweight. Maybe then you have a possibility. But Floyd ain't. Look, Floyd ain't going all the way up to super middleweight. Floyd's never even fought as a middleweight. So that was the mistake that I thought Evander Holyfield made. You've never fought as a light heavyweight, and you're going to go all the way down to 175 pounds at 58? You lost your damn mind. And it showed.
That's my thing kind of with Floyd, and when he makes references to himself, or other people make references to him as the greatest of all time. Yeah, you like to name drop certain people that you beat, but these are people that clearly weren't in their prime. Like Oscar De La Hoya was not in his prime.
And I thought that fight was a draw, personally.
Right. And so I don't think, you win that with Oscar in his prime. I don't think Sweet Pea.
Oh, he doesn't. No. Sweet Pea beats him, hands down. In his prime, Sweet Pea beats him. In his prime. Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, and Marvin Hagler all beat Floyd Mayweather in their prime.
Right. I agree on that, 100%.
Matter of fact,
but you can only fight the people that's in front of you. So yeah, you beat them, and they're on your, 50 however many,
Yeah, but if you stall out. While these guys they might have been in front of you, but if you stall out for 5 and 6 years, they were in front of you then too. He fought Shane Mosley 6 years too late. He fought Manny Pacquiao 5 years too late. He fought Oscar De La Hoya 4 years too late. So the only person that he fought and really in the second half in the Money Mayweather portion of his career, because now when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was fighting these niggas in their prime. I give him credit for that. When he was Pretty Boy Floyd, it was come one, come all. But when he became Money Mayweather, the only person that I can legitimately say that he fought while there was still a version of their prime left was Miguel Cotto. And Miguel Cotto had been softened up enough by Margarito, who had the loaded gloves, but then Pacquiao just beat him up for 12 rounds. But now, as far as Mike Tyson goes, you said having retread fights, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight James Toney. James Toney came out and said I wouldn't mind him fighting James Toney. Because that's a fight where that's totally different. Mike's the bigger guy. Mike, height and weight. Well, maybe not weight, but definitely height. Mike, or I wouldn't mind seeing him fight James Toney, or if you want to have an all New York thing, having him fight Shannon Briggs. I wouldn't mind seeing those. Mike's going for the names with the money, and I'm not mad at that. I would still like to see him fight Holyfield. I told you when Holyfield fought 2 weeks ago, I said if I was Tyson, I'm coming in his dressing room right after the fight with the contract. Saying, here you go. Come on, let's go. Let's do it. Honestly. But see, the thing is that Holyfield wants a real fight. Like Tyson, I'm not saying Tyson doesn't want a real fight. He's more of the exhibition status. Holyfield wants this to be an officially licensed fight where it goes on the record. And I don't think Mike wanted that. But again, if I saw that 2 weeks ago, I'm saying, yeah, bruh, come on.
Yeah.
I'm saying let's do this here.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Cause
Mike's last exhibition, you had the sense that Mike wound up a couple times like he wanted to eat it for real, but pulled the punch. So,
oh my goodness! Yeah. Man, I saw that in the second round. He hit Roy with a left hook to the body and caught him with a left hook in the chin up against the ropes. Roy's legs buckled. And from that point on, he wanted no real contact with Mike Tyson. And all that told me was if they had fought for real in the early 2000s like they were supposed to, Mike would have beat him then, even if he wasn't in the best shape because he was a natural heavyweight.
Right.
Yep. Roy came to the ring with titties. because he's not a natural heavyweight. But anyway, bro, let me get on up out of here. You know you're going to hear from me later on in the week, bro.
Yes, sir. Hey, on a lighter note, and to anybody else that's listening, if you have not seen Venom, it's worth a watch.
Really? Okay. Matter of fact, my boy Eddie said that he just saw it this past weekend. So it's like that?
Yeah. It's definitely better than the first one. First one, man, this one is definitely better. It's very funny. It's actually a couple things. That and Free Guy.
Oh, really?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell. I don't even like Lil Rel, but he was funny in that movie.
Why you don't like Lil Rel?
He has been funny since Get Out.
Why you don't like Lil Rel?
Because he's corny.
Yeah, like
he's corny in the same way, where you can tolerate, but only so much of Kevin Hart.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in that,
He ain't like Uncle Drew?
No. No, I thought the peripheral actors were funny. The Lisa Leslie's and even Shaq. These people were funny. Well, not so much.
I thought Reggie Miller was funny in that movie too.
Reggie Miller was funny too. Yeah, I mean, all the peripheral people that aren't comedians were funny. Him not so much, but in Free Guy he's actually funny.
Okay, well yeah, you heard that. Free Guy and Venom 2.
Let there be carnage. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, you should know Venom 2. As soon as they cast Woody Harrelson as Carnage, you knew it was gonna be good.
Yeah, that's true.
He excels at psycho roles. So.
He really does, because he looked like a damn psycho.
Exactly.
Billy Hoyle.
Billy Hoyle, exactly.
Okay, Billy. Do you know how to play basketball, Billy? I mean, can you count? Can you count to 10, Billy? Well, what's the score, Billy?
That's still a classic.
That is. Sidney Dean and Billy Hoyle. But anyway, all right, bro. I'm gonna definitely get at you soon, man.
Yep.
All right. Later. My man Tony. Y'all already know what it is once we get on the line and we start chopping it up. We get into it because we love this and this is what we do. So, and I've covered a lot of ground as well, not just football, but basketball and boxing, and even got a little movie preview. Ain't that some shit? But anyway, with that being said, where the buzzer? Oh man, another long episode, and it just is what it is. Like I said, since the football season got started, the episodes have gotten longer. I've gone into more detail in regards to things outside of sports, more or less focused on the life department, especially the way I begin the show, in regards to talking about my Springer family and how much they mean to me and how much we all in general as a people, not just, whether you're in Holland Springs or not. I don't even live in Holland Springs, but not just if you're from Holland Springs or not, be more mindful about the quality of life. So I'm going to continue to do that. But now I get to a segment, new segment. I guess officially started it last week, but really did the first segment on it 2 weeks ago while my cousin was on the phone. And this is Brandon's Funny True Stories. Now, the name of this story today is called Bodily Confidence. Bodily confidence. Now, this, of course, goes back to my high school days, and during my senior year of high school, I developed kind of an addiction. I did. So to be real, I can't really say how funny that this story is going to be, because when you hear addiction, there's honestly nothing funny about that. And I'm being serious when I say that I feel like I started an addiction my senior year of high school. And there's nothing that I would say was out of control, but it was something that I was doing, that I started to do frequently as that school year went along. And that addiction was constantly showing my bare ass to people, What, y'all thought I was going to say that, when I was 17, I developed a drug habit or drinking habit? Hell no, I didn't do none of that stuff until 2 years later, till I was like 19, okay? No. No. Oh, no, while I was in Highland Springs, when it came to drinking and smoking and stuff like that, I was a good old boy, but I had an addiction where I just felt the need to show my bare ass to people. Not because I wanted penetrated or anything like that, but because if you were around me at that time, if you were in my circle, I mooned a lot of people. I did. I mooned a lot of people, and at one point, it almost got out of control because, I was even mooning people while class was going on. Like, okay.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
My senior year, I had show choir, and for the most part, easy class. I mean, it was show choir at Highland Springs was the all-girls chorus, and I literally took that class because I had I had room on my schedule where I could fill it in, and I just wanted to, the chorus area, the music area of the school was my safe haven. So I just wanted more or less to be around there. Plus I knew wasn't much going to be asked or required. Me and Sean, we were up in there. Also our boy Corey, we were in there, and at times we would be in the teacher's office, in the chorus teacher's office, and Miss Brady, aka Mom, in her office while she's dealing with the class. We would be messing around, and while they would be singing, there was a small little window, right near the door, right near the door of the class. And every now and then, we would, well, at least me and Sean, we would show our bare gluteus maximus to the students when the teacher wasn't looking. And there were a couple of times where we actually were caught by Ma, and it was quite embarrassing for us at the time, but also quite funny. But when I say bodily confidence, that's why I started mooning so many people, because I was getting to a point where I was confident about my body, at least from the waist down, okay? So let me take you back to one night. This was in March, one night in March. We were finishing up as far as rehearsal went for the school play. And what was the damn play that year? Bye Bye Birdie. So we were finishing up, and a bunch of us one night decided to go to Sean's crib. And of course, parents weren't home. I mean, it's damn near the moral of every story, which kind of makes me feel like as a parent, I should always be home in the evening when my kids become teenagers, especially if they are anything like I was. So one day it was, I can't even remember the other guys that were there. I don't even know if it was me, Sean, Sterling. I don't even remember if there was any other guys that were there that night, but I know it was at least about, I want to say 12 of us. And we get into a house and it's empty, and I'm not going to name no other names as far as the people who were there. And we start playing Truth or Dare. And if there's one thing you know about me, when I was a teenager, Truth or Dare, I ain't had no limit. I had no limit. There was no boundary line that I wouldn't cross in regards to Truth or Dare. Let me clear that up. There was no boundaries that I would cross in the heterosexual chain of events. You feel me? So because this was 2001, not 2021. But anyway, So, we start playing Truth or Dare. Hey, I dare you to do this. Hey, I dare you to do that. Or is it true that whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop? So, excuse me. I forget who it was, but somebody dared me to run outside of Sean's crib with no clothes on. And I think this was the point of the game where everybody was becoming restless because we had been playing it for a while. So we've been playing it for a minute. And so somebody had dared me to run out, around Sean's neighborhood with no clothes on. And I was like, what? So it's like, yeah. Like I said, at this point in time, we had played the game for a while. So half of the people are getting restless, right? So I realized that people are getting restless. And I took, Sean had this, this back door. And I said, look, dude, I'm going to do the dare. He's like, you really going to do that? He said, you really going to do that shit? I said, yeah, I'm going to do that. I said, look, just keep the front door open for me. And he said, okay, all right. So he shut, it was a laundry room before he got to the back door. So, oh man, so I went outside. Nobody saw me. So I was just curious. I was like, I wonder if somebody's gonna just randomly step outside because, none of our people that we hung with smoked, at least not smoked around us or anything like that. So literally what I did, I ran, I say maybe about 100 feet down the street. Mind you, I ain't had nothing on but my socks.
What's wrong with you?
So I ran down the street and I was like, damn, I guess ain't nobody out here. Nobody can see me. So this is kind of anticlimactic. So I'm thinking, remember I had told Sean to please keep the front door open, but he forgot. A lot of people in the house got distracted. I understand that. So I knocked on the door and he answered the door. And as soon as he saw me, he said, oh, B. And I literally jumped in the living room, just nothing on but socks. And everybody, all the girls up in there started screaming, oh my God, Brandon, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now, in the other room, Sterling was on the couch, with his girl. Again, I ain't gonna say no names. They were having a moment. And, me being me, they were laying on the couch. I hopped on the couch, stood right over them, nuts dangling. I said, yo, what's good? And he was like, yo, B, stop. Yo, what are you doing? Put some clothes on. And it was like, why are you running around naked? I said, oh, you didn't hear so-and-so dare me to run around the neighborhood naked? And it was like, the neighborhood, everybody say shit about the house. So anyway, that was hilarious. I put my clothes back on, right? Oh, but it didn't stop there. That's why I said it became an addiction. There was something about me that was very confident in myself and my body, at least from the waist down. So the next day, now it was either Saturday or Sunday. I want to say it's a Sunday, but we're in school because it's the last show of the play, right? So, now when it comes to, faculty and staff and all of that stuff, most of them aren't there. Matter of fact, the only teachers who were there were part of the production of Bye Bye Birdie. But, we were in the dressing room, and the dressing rooms were in the hallway of the ROTC room, if you guys remember that correctly. So, everybody was still tripping on the night before, tripping on last night. They was like, yo, Brandon is an idiot. Like, this fool ran down the street and then came in the house and naked, running around with his everything just out. Everything just out. So I was like, oh, you want an encore, motherfuckers? Excuse me. I'm sorry. So This is about, I would say, maybe about an hour before the show. Everybody's there as far as the cast. Everybody's there. Now, here's the crazy part. I said, you know what? I said, you know what I'm going to do? I said, I'm going to run around the hallway of the school, bucket naked.
You niggas are crazy.
And it was another guy there, like I said, I ain't going to say no names. Another guy that said, no, you won't. I said, oh, is that a dare? Are you daring me to do this? And he was like, I dare you. He's like, you're not going to do that. He said, look, being in somebody's house is one thing, but in school is another. I said, bro, let me tell you something. I said, I'll run up. I said, because, you know, if you know Highland Springs, there's always been a legend that there was a ghost upstairs. When school is over, the ghost appears upstairs. I said, bro, I'll run up. I said, I'll run upstairs where the ghost is at and everything. And I let it all hang out. He was like, you ain't going to do it. And dude was like, okay, I tell you what, you do it. I'll do it with you. You know, I'll do it with you. No funny business. You know, AKA no homo, whatever. So I was like, for real? And he was like, yeah. I was like, so in the dressing room, there was some old graduation gowns, right? So I was like, okay. These dudes don't know who. I was like, these people don't know who they messing with. Okay. And he went out and told everybody. Nobody believed him because he was up in school. It's like, hey, yo, Brandon about to run naked up there in the hallway. Whatever happened last night, he's bringing it into today. It's like, he about to run around naked in the hallway. And it was like, no, he ain't finna do that in school. And then on top of that, a couple other people decided to join in. Yeah, we gonna do it too. All right. Oh shit. Now I got a crew. I got a nude crew. So first thing I do, I put on the graduation gown. I don't have nothing on under it. Nothing. So it was a group of people out in the hallway right behind, because, you know, there was the hallway and there was the back door to the auditorium, backstage. And then, you know, you went around that corner, which was right there. There you had the ROTC room. So I came out in the graduation gown, and a couple people was like, Brandon, what are you doing? And I just lifted the graduation gown up. I said, nay. And everybody was like, oh, snap, you a trip. No, what are you doing? So the first stairway up the steps, I think it put us near the science hall. Near the science hall. I was like, I told y'all, I'm going to get a ghost something to look at. So me, a couple other people who wanted to be witnesses, and then my nude crew, they went up there as I ran around, literally unzipped the doggone, the graduation gown, and was just like, I was like, hey, ghost, I got something for you. I started dangling my stuff like it was a guitar. I was like my man region was a guitar strings. I was like man, it was one person up there who was working maintenance who saw us running and said, what the hell? I swear, if that was a school day, I'd have probably been expelled. I mean, I'm sorry. If anybody who was in an administrative position that listens to this now is like, man, if I could go back in the time machine, I would expel his nasty ass. Oh, snap. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, well, okay. That's another episode of Brandon's Funny True Stories. There's a lot of people who I've known for a very long time that even today don't really know about the wild side that truly exists inside of me. Truly. That the wild side that's just off the chain. But anyway, yo, this has been another episode of Sports Plus Life. It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. If you have not yet hit that subscription button, please don't hesitate. Hit the subscription button. Become part of the Sports Plus Life family. Enjoy this podcast. Enjoy now the funny true stories. Enjoy the sports talk. And if you just, subscribe to my YouTube page, Brevon Towns. You know, you'll find DJ mixes that I've done. You'll find I've actually done 2 albums. I've done 2 albums that I put on YouTube. One in 2016, one in 2020. So again, it's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. You know, concluding with another wild story, but hey, it's sports plus life. I'm out this bit. I love you guys, man. I really do. Peace.